everybody. So I've been spending time talking with my clients online and some friends through texting, and the one thing that I'm finding is everybody's telling me that their old aches and pains are showing back up. And then realistically, because we're slowing down a little bit, everybody's stuck at home and spending a lot of time sitting at their desks or at their computers doing work from home, that they're not actually moving around enough to prevent adhesions from coming back into the muscle tissue. Remember, we want to keep muscles good and lengthened to prevent those aches and pains from showing back up. So I figured today would be a great day to go over some self-myofascial release, or commonly known as foam rolling, along with some static stretches to help with lower back pain. Because I've heard that everybody's like, my lower back is killing me, or my knees are killing me, or my hips are killing me. So what we'll do is we'll cover those three things. First thing we're going to do is a couple static stretches that are going to help lengthen out tissue for the lower back and for the hips. So let me sit down right here and I'll show you a good stretch that's going to help work on the lower back. So what you want to do is you want to sit right here, sitting up straight and tall, and then you want to take your hands and you want to let them fall in front of you. Now you'll see a lot of people do this kind of stretch right here, and that's a great stretch too for working in the hamstrings, glutes, and all the way through the lower back, but I want to focus in on just the lower back. So stay seated like this, take your hands and let gravity take over. And what I want you to do is round your back, and then just let gravity pull. And you'll feel all the muscle tissue around your spine start to stretch out and lengthen. And you're just going to sit in here like this. I'm rounding more, and just letting gravity take over. Rounding more, and just keep rounding. And you're just going to sit here. You're going to do this for about a minute. And let the tissue really release. It takes about a minute for the organ. There's these little organs in the tissue. I'm not going to get too technical on you. But realistically, it takes a minute for all that tissue to understand that you're trying to lengthen it back out. So take the time. Put some music on, put the TV on, sit down and relax and just work through. So once you feel that you finally reached to where you're going to get with this, just stay there. Please don't pulse. We don't want to push the tissue too far. We just want to release it through its normal range of motion. And let's do hips too. So we're seated all day long. We're in this position and these hips are locking up on us. So we're going to just do a standard hip flexor stretch. What I want you to do is I want you to come down onto this knee. I want you to take this foot and bring it a little further forward than normal. Make sure your foot is up and back and straight. And now it's easy to just stretch like this thinking you're stretching your hip. You're not. The best way to get the most out of it is to take the hip and tip it under. See how I have that little pelvic tilt right there? Once you do that, now this is fully engaged and it's stretching. And then from there, holding that pelvic tilt, then I want you to lean in. And then once again, you're going to spend a little time here. You need at least a minute. And then just sit in there and then slowly work through it. Please don't pulse, like I said before. I want you to just slowly let gravity take over and pull yourself forward through it. Okay, so if we want to work around the hip, there's two other moves that you can do. One, you'd swing open, raise your arm up, keep that leg straight ahead, and then again, lean in. And again, you'll hold that for a minute. Come back to neutral. I want you to drive the hip here, and from here, I want you to turn that hip in and this knee this way. And then from there, you'll lean into it like that. Now we've worked the whole way around the hip. A minute hold on each one. Obviously, we're going to do the same on the other side. Ariel, why don't you come on over here? Okay, once I'm set up on it, foot up and back, foot forward here. Again, tip the hip under, and drive in. This is my tighter hip, so this one hurts a little more. And you're going to find that one side might be tighter than the other, and that's normal. People ask me all the time, why is that? And it's just lifestyle. So what you do is you spend a little more focal time on the side that has a little more adhesion in it. Okay? So obviously I would do this for a minute, but I'm not going to so that we can keep the video moving. Come back, drive this open, arm up, swing. Back to center. After a minute, back to neutral. Tip the hip. Drive that hip in while you bring this knee that way and lean into it. Good. Come on out. Another thing that's going to help with movement and loosening of adhesion, most people's calves are tight. So I'm going to show you an easy way to do this with a stair. What I want you to do is come on over here, take your right foot, place it up onto the stair. You notice I'm leaning backwards so that I'm getting the heel as close as I can. And then I'm coming up, I'm grabbing the door. I'm driving my heel through the ground as I'm doing this. Come up, drive the hip forward. And you'll feel that gastroinsole in the back of your leg stretch. And that's what we're looking for, that full calf stretch. Please, again, no pulsing with this. I just want you to hold the static stretch for a minute. Pushing in a little more as you can and just holding it there. All right, let's do the other side. Sit back, foot up, grab the door frame, tip the hip, drive the heel through the ground as I'm tipping the hip, and coming up. Now the static stretch is done, let's go through some foam rolling. This uses a different form of inhibition. I'm not going to get too technical, but same thing with this. When you find that hot spot when you're foam rolling, you want to sit there and hold it for about a minute. Now if you're working on a large muscle group, like let's say the quadricep, you may find 5 or 6 hot spots, and that means you're spending 5 or 6 to 10 minutes on that one muscle group. So foam rolling takes a little bit of time, but it does a lot of great work on the body. So please, we got time at home right now. Take it, utilize this tool to help you feel better. So I'm going to cover a couple. I'm going to cover the calves, I'm going to cover the IT band and TFL, and I'm going to cover your adductors. Okay? Those are the 3 that I think are going to help you feel a little bit better. So calves are real simple. Put the foam roller down, put your foot up, your leg up onto the foam roller, choose whichever side you want to do first. So let's say we're going to do the right. Crush your leg over on the top of that other one, and then lift the weight up so that you're holding yourself up on the roller and move down. Here, can you keep it on my leg? Move down until you find a spot that's kind of sore. So for me, it's right about there. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to hold pressure on here for about a minute. And I like to do a little pulse into the tissue, like I'm having a thumb, like I'm going to the massage therapist and he's driving his fingers in. You don't want to rock back and forth like this, but you just want to sit there and pulse on that little knot till you feel what we call the release. And once you feel the release, you should move on to the next spot. Okay, so I'm moving up straight on the calf, nothing. So I'm going to turn to the outside a little bit. Okay, and there's a spot right there. Same thing, I'll just sit there and I'll pulse on it. Working through that tissue. Now granted, remember, it takes about a minute for each one of these. And I don't want this video to be 40 minutes long, so I'm going to keep moving on. We would do the exact same thing on the other side. Generally, I like to start at the bottom of the leg. Okay, so I feel the spot right there, and then work on that for about a minute with little pulses again, and then move on. But let's move on to the next muscle group. So what I want to cover next, working up, we'll come into the IT band and the TFL. I always like to start distal, further away from the center of the body, so we'll start right by the knee. Stay off the joints themselves, please. It's not good for them. So you're going to start right here, right around just above it. Place it, lay on the foam roller. Now you can make this easier by having a foot right here. You control the amount of pressure you control the amount of pressure that's on the foam roller. I generally like to put as much on there as possible, so I stack my feet on top of one another, sit in a straight line, lift my legs up. And then I work through till I find a spot that bothers me. Okay, so this side doesn't seem too bad for me. And you're going to work all the way up to the hip. Okay, there's a spot right there. And once again, I like to put a little pulse into it. And you would do this for a minute, and then you move on to the next spot. Okay, so obviously we want to do this on both sides, not just the one. So we would turn on this side, start here, and work up through. Next thing you're going to do is the adductors. What I want you to do is lay on the ground next to the foam roller, bend this leg, put your weight up onto it by Ariel, can you come over on the side over here, please? Hi, Lulu. What are you doing? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to lift this leg up in the air while you have this other one on the roller up as well. And move around till you find a spot that's sore. So for me, it's right about there. And again, a little pulse with your leg to push into that tissue. Each spot that you find, you want to hold for a minute. So we'll do the other side as well. Straight line. Bend your leg. Okay, so this one hurts me more. I can feel that already. And I haven't even put full pressure on it. So right there, oh yeah. So that one I would hold for a full minute. Okay. All right, everybody. So let's stop right there because we don't want to make this video last too long. So remember, it's important to use self-myofascial release, which is foam rolling and static stretching, for a minute with each thing that you're doing in every stretch that you go into. You got to give the body a chance to have that release to let the tissue return back to normal elasticity. Using these two tools are the things that are going to help those aches and pains disappear. So take the time. We have it right now. And then when you go, do this before you go for your run, and then do this after you get back from your run too. You're going to want to lengthen the tissue out so that you have a good quality run on board. And then you're going to want to lengthen the tissue back out because remember, exercise tightens tissue up. So both prior and after, you want to foam roll. All right, guys, I hope this helps, and I hope that my friends out there that have been calling me and saying, hey, I'm really sore, that this will help you get through. And please remember to reach out to me anytime through text or through any strength.power.wellness on any of the social medias. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you soon.